The wind had a cruel way of carrying misery across the Texas plains, and that evening it pushed a storm toward Buckthorn Ridge, heavy clouds dragging shadows across the land like bruises. Clint Braddock had been mending the fence on the south side of his ranch when he saw a lone figure stumbling down the dirt road. At first he thought it was a stray cow kicking up dust, but then he noticed a woman's silhouette, small, shaking, and holding something close to her chest. He wiped sweat from his brow, narrowed his eyes, and muttered, "Now what in the hell is this?" He swung himself over the fence and walked her way, boots crushing gravel with steady purpose. As he got closer, the truth hit him hard enough to stop him mid-step. This wasn't just any woman. It was Ellie Mae Carson, his neighbor's bride, the same woman he'd heard was left at the altar that morning. The same woman folks gossiped about all day, saying she'd cried so hard she near fainted. But no one mentioned she disappeared with her newborn baby. Ellie Mae looked like a ghost wearing a wedding dress turned to rags. Her veil was torn, her eyes red and hollow, and the infant in her arms whimpered weakly against her chest. Clint felt something twist inside him, anger, pity, something darker. "Ellie Mae?" he said quietly. She lifted her head as if the sound of her name pained her. "Clint, please." "I didn't know where else to go." She swayed and he lunged forward to catch her before she collapsed. Her baby let out a frightened cry. Clint picked them both up, one arm strung around Ellie, the other steadying the child. Without another word, he carried them toward his cabin as thunder cracked above the ridge. By the time he pushed the door open with his shoulder, rain had started slicing down in angry sheets. He set Ellie Mae gently on the edge of his bed and checked the baby. The little boy was burning up, skin hot and damp. Clint cursed under his breath and grabbed cool water, a cloth, and a blanket. "Ellie, talk to me." "What happened?" he asked, kneeling beside her. Her voice trembled. Shep laughed. "He said he couldn't marry a woman with a child that wasn't his. He said I tricked him, that I was ruined." Clint clenched his jaw so tight it hurt. Jeb Carson was a mean drunk and a coward, but abandoning a woman on her wedding day on a dirt road with a baby, that was something evil. "Is the child?" Clint didn't finish. Ellie looked down. "The baby's father died in a cattle stampede last winter. I never told Jeb because I thought he'd accept him once we married. I was wrong." Clint dipped the cloth into cool water and laid it on the baby's forehead. "You listen here, Ellie Mae. Nobody deserved what he did to you. Not you, not this little one." Tears spilled down her cheeks silently. Clint placed a steady hand over hers. "You're safe now. Both of you." He meant it more than he expected to. The storm raged outside for hours, trapping them inside the tiny cabin. Clint tended the baby, feeding him warm milk with careful hands, cooling his fever, rocking him in the old wooden chair that once belonged to his mother. Ellie Mae watched from the bed, her breathing uneven, her wedding dress clinging to her like a shroud. At one point she whispered, "Why are you helping me? You barely know me." Clint didn't look at her at first. He just kept rocking the baby. "Funny thing is," he finally said, "I know you better than you think. I've been watching you walk this ridge since we were kids. Always gentle, always smiling at everybody, even when life didn't give you much to smile about." She blinked in surprise. "I never knew. Wasn't for you to know." Clint stood and carried the baby back to her. "Here, he's doing better now." Ellie reached for her son with trembling arms and held him close, whispering thanks. The storm winds banged hard against the cabin walls. Clint added more wood to the fire, its glow casting warm light across Ellie's tear-streaked face. When he looked at her again, something shifted inside him. The dress she wore, torn, soaked, and muddy, became a symbol of everything she had lost in a single day. "Ellie," he said quietly, "we gotta get you out of that dress. You're freezing." Her cheeks colored and she clutched the baby closer. I can manage. She tried to stand, but nearly fell. Clint caught her again, steadying her. Let me get you one of my shirts. You can change behind the curtain. She nodded gratefully. Clint fetched a long flannel shirt and held it out. Take your time. While Ellie changed, Clint stared into the fire, fists clenched, mind burning with thoughts of Jeb Carson. When she stepped back out, wearing his oversized shirt and holding her baby close, Clint felt a tightness in his chest he didn't know how to name. Ellie sat near the fire, warming her hands. Clint, people will talk. You taking me in like this? It'll look bad. Clint let out a low chuckle. People round here talk if the wind blows wrong. Let him. She looked at him, really looked, and for the first time since arriving, there was something soft in her eyes. I don't want to be a burden. You ain't. She swallowed hard. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. You're supposed to rest, he said firmly. Tomorrow's problems can wait just fine. But problems didn't wait. At dawn, someone pounded on the cabin door hard enough to shake the hinges. Clint instinctively reached for his gun. Stay back, he told Ellie. She moved behind him, clutching the baby. Clint opened the door a few inches and came face to face with Jeb Carson, drunk, muddy, and furious. Braddock, he slurred. I heard you took my woman. Clint stepped outside and shut the door behind him. Rain still clung to the earth, the air thick with tension. She out your woman, Clint said coldly. You left her? She's my bride. Jeb shouted. You're harboring her like some. Clint grabbed him by the collar and slammed him against the porch beam. You shut your mouth before I shut it for you. Jeb struggled, fists swinging wildly, but Clint was stronger and sober. He shoved him down into the mud. You left her and the baby to die. That makes you less than a man. Jeb spat on the ground. She comes back with me. Her and that bastard kid. Clint's blood boiled. He stepped closer, voice low and dangerous. Touch her or that baby, and you'll be digging your own grave before sundown. Jeb's eyes widened. He scrambled backward, muttering curses as he ran off toward town. Clint waited until he disappeared before stepping inside. Ellie was pale, shaking. Was that him? It was. He won't stop. Clint walked over to her slowly. Then he'll learn what happens when a man tries to hurt someone under my roof. Ellie's breath hitched. She looked up at him, eyes glistening. Why are you doing this for me? He hesitated. Then he spoke the truth. Because no one ever protected you. Because you deserved a better life than the one you've been handed. Because when I saw you walking down that road, I realized I couldn't let the world break you. Tears spilled down Ellie's cheeks. Clint reached out, wiped them gently with his thumb. She didn't pull away. That moment soft, fragile, dangerous hung between them like a hell breath. Clint? She whispered, but he stepped back, trying to calm the storm inside himself. You don't owe me anything, he said. You don't have to say a word. Ellie shook her head. That's not it. I'm just not used to kindness. Then let me show you what kindness looks like. The days that followed were quiet, filled with small moments that changed everything. Clint cooked for her, helped her wash the baby's clothes in warm water, repaired the rocking chair so she could rock her son to sleep. Ellie, in return, cleaned the cabin, cooked when she was able, and slowly let laughter creep back into her voice. One night, while the baby slept, Clint found her on the porch watching the sun bleed orange across the horizon. Clint, she said softly, I don't know what the future holds. But I know one thing. What's that? The day I walked down that road, I thought my life was over. But coming here, something changed. Clint swallowed, waiting. Inside your cabin, she whispered, I found hope again. He stepped closer, barely breathing. Ellie, she looked up at him, eyes shining. The whole town may be shocked by it, but I'm not, because you're the only man who ever treated me like I mattered. Clint cupped her face gently. You do matter. Her breath caught. So do you. When he kissed her, it wasn't desperate or hurried. It was slow, deep, and filled with everything he'd never said aloud. Everything he'd carried quietly for years. And for the first time in her life, Ellie Mae kissed someone who loved her, not someone who wanted to use her. What happened inside Clint Braddock's cabin didn't just shock the town. It changed the wind-beaten cowboy and the abandoned bride forever. Because in a world full of storms, they found each other. And sometimes, that's enough to save a life.